Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to give you the distance formula, and together we're going to compute two examples where we calculate the distance between 2 points using this formula. So here's how the formula works. If I have a point x0, comma y0, so here this one is x0, comma y0, and this second point is x1, comma y1, then I calculate the distance between these points. So my first point was x0, y0. My second point was x1, y1. The distance is just the shortest length between them. I calculate it by taking the difference in the x values, so x0 minus x1, squaring that and adding it to the difference in the y values, so y0 minus y1. For some explanation of where this formula comes from, there's a video called the Y distance formula at the bottom of this page. So you can check that out if you want to understand where this comes from. But for now, it's good enough to know the formula and to know how to use it. So let's compute an example. We want to find the distance between 5, 7 and 4, 0. So here's the formula. Again, I'll just rewrite it on this page. So the distance between x0, y0 and x1, y1 is going to be the square root of the difference in the x values squared plus the difference in the y values squared. So if I want to use this formula, I can choose either this to be my x0, y0 and this to be x1, y1, or the other way around. It doesn't really matter. So let's call this x0, y0, and this one we can treat as our x1, y1, and we can just plug into the formula. So we'll take the square root of the difference in the x values squared plus the difference in the y values squared. So I do 5 minus 4, that's x0 minus y0, and here's my y0, or x0 minus x1, sorry. My y0 is 7, my y1 is 0, so 7 minus 0, and I square that quantity. So now I can just complete this example. 5 minus 4 is 1 squared plus 7 squared. So this will give me the square root of 1 plus 49, which is the square root of 50. And I can simplify that to 5 times the square root of 2, because 50 is 25 times 2. So that is one simple case of how we use the distance formula. And graphically, what we've just done is, if we have the point 4, 0 and 5, 7, we found this distance, d, to be equal to 5 root 2. Let's do another example that's a little bit more applied. So if the center of the circle is at 1, 4, and a point on the circle is at -5, -1, I want to find the radius. So let's just draw a picture so we know exactly what this is asking for. So we have our center is at 1, 4, and another point on the circle is at -5, -1. So our circle might be something like this. The radius of a circle is just the distance from the center to any point on the circle. So if I calculate the distance between the center and the point that I'm given, that will tell me the radius. So the radius will be the distance between 1 comma 4 and -5 comma -1. And so we can treat this as our x0, y0, and this point as our x1, y1. Then plugging into the distance formula, I'm going to take the square root of the difference in the x values squared plus the difference in the y values squared. So I'll do x0 minus x1 squared plus y0 minus y1 squared. And given the way that I assigned these coordinates, that will be, let's write in our outside stuff first. So x0 is 1, x1 is -5, y0 is 4, and y1 is -1. Oops, should have done that in green. So now I just work this out. 1 minus -5 is the same as 1 plus 6 squared, or 1 plus 5 squared. 4 minus -1 is like 4 plus 1 squared. So I get the square root of 6 squared plus 5 squared, which is the square root of 36 plus 25, which is the square root of 61. So that gives me the radius. So these are just a few of the many examples where you could be calculating the distance between two different points. And later, like the example we just saw, we'll apply the distance formula to come up with an equation for circles. I hope that this helps. Good luck with the homework.